here tonight, but I'd like to go over one last video. It's an interesting video because I scoured the internet today trying to find. It's not a bragging thing. It's not it's nothing crazy. But I remember in September of 2016, when I first came to Singapore, I'm a huge fan, as a lot of people are, of Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan has literally, Zoro, if you don't know this, Joe Rogan has talked about you 4 times on his podcast. He doesn't know your name, but he talks about, as I quote, the biggest Brazilian he's ever seen. Probably because you're a tall guy fighting in a middleweight division. But I would say one of your highest opponents, popularity-wise, was Roger Huerta, and I know we'll get into the video in a second. I have the entire fight, but Roger Huerta was a big name, and when he came to 1FC, I found the video right here. There's a real. I won't share the audio because I don't want to take out the time, but it's funny because about halfway through this interview, he talks about understanding the rules. And so I'll let this play for a second. This is a young Zoro getting interviewed, but he was probably one of the biggest names, at least, that had come to 1FC, and you're setting up to fight him. And about halfway through this interview, it's very interesting because this is before the fight. He talks about, and I quote mildly, he knew that he's allowed to get kneed on the floor, and he actually says, I understand I can get soccer kicked in the head. He talks about it in this fight, which is interesting because this is something, like I say in a loving way, Zoro, I know you're sometimes, I don't know if shy is the right term, but you don't always like to talk about the soccer kick that ends this fight, do you?
Sorry?
The soccer kick that ends that. So this, we're going to play some of this video. So again, this video is close to almost 15 minutes. So if people got to go, it's all good. I appreciate being here, but we're going to watch this fight. It's a really good match, Zoro. You really square off well, but you win this fight. Spoiler alert. But it's with a soccer kick. And sometimes, as I feel, you're sometimes shy to share that video because the video's out there. How come? Or am I wrong?
No, it's not shy. Just I no reason to like to talk like. If, like, for example, today, we have a reason, we can go over, if someone asks, I would talk, but if I think you just got me wrong. No, I don't.
Okay.
It's okay to talk, yeah.
How did he feel? I mean, Roger Huerta, I don't know much about him, but he was in UFC before this. But how did he feel? Do you recall this fight? Like, did he seem evenly matched with you? Did you feel like this is a good fight? Like, how did you Roger feel?
How he felt or how I feel?
How you feel versus him? Like, how'd the fight go? Like, how'd you feel during this match?
During the fight, I knew that he was a big name, and I think we were talking about this before. About to how to see ourselves to get to the top, and so for you to become the champion, you have to become the champion, right? You have to beat the champion. I mean, so he was not the champion, but he was a good name for the sport, for the MMA. So I knew that if I passed through him, it was project myself to get closer to where I wanted to be. Because my goal, my dream was I wanted to be the champion of one FC and the UFC. that was my dream. And so I was training really hard for that. And the reason why I stopped the fighting was because after after my loss, I saw myself too far to get where I want to be because of my age. So I said, okay, that's it, And so back to the question, I miss your question. You asked that.
I'm just saying, what was in you? So you talk a lot about mindset, and you mentioned already that he's a big name, and you're talking about your projection in your career, but in the moment, what is, like, look at that screen right now. What is young Zoro thinking right now while he's fighting this big name Roger Huerta? What's in your head right now?
Back then,
Yeah. Do you recall this fight?
Yeah, yes. So, like, oh, okay, he's a good name in the sport. I went to him. I want to beat him. So I can get close to where I want to be. So I always, I have to win this fight. I have to win this fight. So, and then I know he was a good, tough guy. But I believed that I was confident that I was better than him. Because my training partners and they give me confidence, and I was ready, and I was happy during that fight. As you can see, I won. So, but what it was in my mind was I have to win. I'm ready. I'm gonna do my best. That's it.
Does anything? Do you recall anything? Any specific moments in this fight, like maybe his kick, like, wow, that kick hurt. Like, his right punch was really good. Like, did he hit you with anything that you recall directly, or was it mainly just kind of in the zone?
No, yeah. Like I always in my fights, like, oh, he kick me, I'm gonna kick hard. So I always, like, I punch, I'm gonna punch hard. So I always try to, go forward, like, more. I never. I didn't think about that, Robin. I don't remember that. I remember just, he kick, I have to block that kick. Or that was my mind, like, he's kicking hard here, I have to block. And then I have to do something. I was always trying to, block and counter attack. And
Was Cruyo in your corner?
He was in my corner.
What is Roger Huerta known for? Is he more known for his kickboxing? He's got a tiger logo, doesn't he?
He was living in Thailand during this time. He was doing a lot of striking. I think his background, he's a wrestler guy. And he was a complete fighter.
If I'm looking at his shorts properly, he's got a Tiger Muay Thai patch. Do you think Arjan was his teacher?
Maybe. but Arjan was not there.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
This fight. But maybe he was his teacher. But I have to check. I'm gonna ask Cruyo.
Yeah. Wow, that's a nice punch. Your striking looks really clean. If you go back, I mean, if we were to like teleport ourselves to the beginning of this episode and watch that fight in Brazil where we talked about just brawl, it was all heart, like you say yourself, it was all heart. This is way more technical. Cruyo did a good job molding you into a striker.
Yes, I can see okay, now I can see. One thing that you asked about the punch kicking hard, and then you brought me a memory that I went to fight Muay Thai in Thailand with a Thai, big Thai, And man, this guy, he, I respect his kicks because yeah, I felt my leg heavy when he kicked it.
That's
But
true. I mean, sometimes you think about that. Like I remember one guy in Vegas for myself. Like he sidekicked me once, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to feel that again. Like sometimes those memories stick out in your brain. You're like, I don't want to get hit by that again. So.
yeah, but with this fight,
Oh,
whatever he was trying to do, I was confident and I thought I could do better than him.
I gotta watch that again. Hold on a second. Let me go back a second. You just kicked his leg so hard his whole knee buckled. Oh my God, Zoro, you kick hard. There's a right kick coming up. Watch what? Oh, look at his knee buckle. Oh my gosh. Zoro, there's a question in the chat. Uncle Tim, as we love to call him, recently. He's asking, how do your parents feel about your MMA career now? I mean, you haven't fought in a couple of years, but how do your parents feel? I mean, you talked earlier about your dad supporting your college, and then you switched into MMA. How do they feel about it now?
Oh yeah, now they are proud. They are proud of me. It's a completely different story. And after my first MMA fight, they changed their mind.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was when they saw that I was really going to MMA to fight, and they changed their mind. Yeah, today they are
I almost want to go back
proud
and.
of it.
That's good, man. Having a parent's support and love means so much. It was the second round. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. Real quick, I want to go back and watch some of this. You're really teeing off on this guy, Zoro. You,
Huh?
re- you're really hitting him good right now. Like, if you can see the screen, like he lands a couple counter punches, but you're really like, you really have him like the crosshairs on him. You nearly. I mean, this is you end the fight this round. So in the next minute, like he right there. I mean, you're hitting him on the ground, and there's something coming up, as we all know, the infamous soccer kick. It's legal. I mean, because a lot of people watch UFC, at least from
Yeah.
they think a grounded opponent is illegal to kick or punch or whatever, but nice back roll. Nice back roll there, Zoro. That was do you see that? You see that for all the white belts in the chat right now. Let's watch Zoro do a nice little back roll. That's what back rolls are for, guys. If you're in the middle of an MMA fight and you trip, watch this back roll. Oh, this back
Whoa.
roll. Very nice. Zoro. Very nice. But yeah, this is 100% legal. Different. This is another reason. I think we're getting close to the end here. This is another reason to know the rules and be familiar. Knees and elbows to the ground, at least in this rule set. Here it comes.
I look the
Oh, God. So,
the referee, he looked. I knew that he is legal, right?
yeah.
And he could do the same to me too. So I
As we talk, I'll let it play again. But yeah, exactly. It's legal. So you you really show some really good composure in this as well. But yeah, like you said, it's legal. It's a legal strike, and there's I think there's been so much highlight sometimes of the soccer kick itself that the entire match may not be really given its shine or spotlight as well. I mean, your Muay Thai is really nice here. You're one thing that's really shown over a couple rounds of MMA, if people don't understand, is like these leg kicks, as they do hurt to us, on a day-to-day basis. If Zoro is to walk over to you and like kind of kick you in the thigh real quick, just little nice little love tap, it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? But when the adrenaline's kicking in, it doesn't always hurt right away. A lot of these punches don't. But
but it's a lot different in my fight from this time, my striking, for that fight we saw at the beginning, right?
Oh yeah, very much. Your striking is way more clean. Um, the only thing I hate to say it this way, this is the 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 um, the constant whatever in me, but you cross your feet so much. I feel like you cross your feet a lot. I don't know if anybody yelled at you about that, but you're always crossing your legs. I don't know why when you
Yeah,
walk.
yeah.
It's something I'm like, man, that's something I used to always yell at my fighters about. But hey, I'm the last person ever criticized too much, man. But you walk Roger down for like 2 minutes. I mean, so there's, as we can see on the screen, there's 3 minutes left. So within the next 2 minutes, you're going to finish this fight, and for literally like 2 minutes, you just walk him down and destroy him.